Hey you guys, thanks so much for tuning into my video. This is all about how I did my full sew-in with a lace closure. I'm showing you guys the braid pattern as well as how I do the elastic band method in order to have my closure laid to my head, wet closure, slayed, whatever you guys want to say, I guess. And also, do you guys like my hair? If you do, I do have a video on how I achieved this hair color, and you can find the link in the description box below. But yeah, so I started off by sectioning my hair into 3 parts. I have 2 little parts in the top, and then the back of it is just a jungle. It's doing whatever it wants to do. I had just washed my hair and it's still a little bit damp. So what I was going to do is start off with some moisturizer. Any moisturizer of your choice. I'm just using this olive oil brand stuff and some argan oil, and I was just putting that into my hair and working it in. I like to braid my hair while it's a little bit damp. It may not be the best thing to do, but because it's natural, it's very, very hard for me to get through it. So yeah, I love doing it that way. So now that we're done moisturizing our hair, I began braiding those 2 top sections horizontally, both going towards, the side of my head. And I had just braided them straight across, and then I curved them a little bit once I got to the end of it, because I'll be conjoining all of those together at the end. Now, as we can see, I did the same exact thing to the other side of my head, and then for the back of my head, I braided all of those straight to the back of the nape of my neck. And then from there, I'll be conjoining all of those together by twisting the ones on the sides up and attaching those to the back. And I'm going to spin around in just a second so you can see that as well too. But I pretty much just tucked all of the braids in between other braids. And that is our braid pattern. So once our foundation was done, we were ready to go right ahead into installing our bundles. So I started with the longest length, of course, and I put that at the lower level. And I'm just straightening out some of those because they were freshly washed. And now we're just about ready to move on to installing our closure. You don't really have to, start braiding your hair up and not braiding your hair, but you don't have to start installing your bundles prior to the closure. I just like to put the lower level on first. Alright, so for the closure installation, you'll just need a headband as well as scissors, a needle, and your regular sew-in thread. So I took a headband that fit my head pretty well, and I snapped that in half with the scissors. And this is just me showing you where you'll be putting the edges of the elastic band on the closure. You do not want to put it on the middle of the lace part. You want to make sure that those edges of the headband are on the perimeter of the closure. Prior to applying the headband to the actual closure, you want to make sure that the headband is fitting your head really well. So you'll just need to take that and wrap it around your head, and then start it where your closure would start, and just make sure that it's not too snug to where it would give you a headache, but make sure it's not too loose as well, because then your closure is not going to lay flat. So from there, on each side, you'll simply loop the needle and the thread right through the elastic band on the edges. And then this is how it should look when you are finished. So from there, you'll simply put on the closure as if it was a regular headband and pull that back. And then you need to make sure that you're lining up the part on the closure with your real part that you have on your head. And y'all will definitely have to excuse me. I was all up in the camera. I was focused so hard, So now that we finally have the closure aligned to our liking, I'm pulling that hair up and putting it in a little bit of a ponytail so that we can go ahead and sew around the perimeter of the closure to keep it in place. So I sew on one side, and I do not go all the way around the curve yet. I just sew on the sides first. I start on one side, and then once I do that, I make sure that it is flattened, and I sew the other side. And then from there, then I sew the last part, which would be that curvular back part of the sew. Not the sew, but the closure. So once we have our closure intact, that is pretty much it for any extra complications. You'll be sewing it just like any regular old sewing. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys in some way. Please leave some comments, like, subscribe. I got a lot more stuff coming on the way. So yeah, and also if you do like my hair, you like the end result, I do have a video on how I colored it, and that'll be in the description box below. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.